Hello, beautiful family. It's Bonnie. I wanted to share past couple dreams with you guys that have come to pass. And I just kind of wanted to, and I'm going to show you the nitty gritty in my scratchy handwriting and my scratchy pictures on how he shows me things sometimes, and then how I just have to wait and see what happens, and if and when it comes to pass. So I wanted to share some of those with you, but I also wanted to share one of my favorite verses from Isaiah 40:31. For those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And we are weary brides waiting on the Lord, and just so ready to see Him. So ready to see Him. Anyways, let me go back. So I'm going to go back to here. Just for instance, like on January 24th, 4:19 p.m., I saw something that looked like sort of like sandstone, and it was clear water, and it was like I was in the water, like underwater, so I could tell it seemed maybe like 8 feet deep or 9 feet deep. Kind of looked like a clear waterway or aqueduct. And so I just write it down, and I just kind of draw it how I saw it, and then I just wait to see what happens, what comes out in the news, if somebody talks about it. I haven't seen anything about it, but it's just kind of how sometimes he'll show me things. On January 24th at 4:25 p.m., I think I was laying down worshiping him, and I might have been dozing off. And it's like I kind of saw this and heard it at the same time. And it's like I heard Hebrew letter leaped. But then I kind of visually saw it, and it was like an actual letter. I don't know what it was, and I don't know if it refers to, honestly, Hebrews, the book of Hebrews. I really don't know. So I just put a little question mark, and I wait, because something might come up about it that happens. On the 25th at 1:30 p.m., I was in prayer and worship with this one. And what it looked like, kind of like small town USA, sort of. I saw single-story buildings, and the few things that popped out was it was a street, single-story buildings, and a street lamp, and then like a poof of like smoke behind it. And I wrote a bomb or a volcano, but I put it was not tall enough. So it was like I was supposed to notice the smoke, but I didn't, couldn't really tell what it was that was making the smoke. It didn't look like an obvious volcano or a bomb. So I just drew it kind of how I saw it. I knew that the street light was important, and I knew the street was important. Otherwise, they wouldn't have actually been in that. And I'm not saying that this is exactly what I saw, but the next day, I think it was, that Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash. Now, I didn't see any helicopter, any kind of flying, anything with that vision. It was just a quick picture and gone. But when I went to look up information about the helicopter crash, this was one of the articles that came up. And I thought what was interesting was the street, single-story building, and the curved street light. And then a plume of smoke behind the building. So similar to what I saw. Not exactly what I saw, but it was very similar. So, I can't say that it is or isn't, but that was the very next day that happened. Another one. Okay, this one on 125 at 1:52 a.m. I think I was I can't remember. I might have been dozing off. A dozing off one. And what I saw was military people in a chow line, and something crashed into the building. And the way I saw it, it was kind of interesting because it was like a 1 second, like it was in motion. I saw the two men in motion, and I saw the building crash in above them, and then it freeze framed. So I didn't see it hit them. I didn't see what hit the building. I just saw it crashing in through the side there, but it freeze framed. So, which was kind of nice that he doesn't show me the bad parts of things. And that was on January 25th. And let's see, do I have a picture of that? No, I'll find it in just a second. On the 27th, I had a wake-up dream, and I heard Highway 34 to Yellowstone, and I haven't heard anything else about that, so I just write it down. On the 27th, I saw a blue car crash, or crumpled car, and of course, where I work at, what I do, I deal with patients. Almost 99% of all of our patients are car accidents, so sometimes it could actually relate to my work. And so I just write it down, I leave it. On January 28th, this one also is pretty interesting, because this one it was 3:50 a.m. and it woke me up. And it was really quick. And what it was a African American neighborhood. So it was a lady I used to work with years ago, and I had been to her house. So I know what her neighborhood looks like. And almost it was like her front yard. And in the dream, it was like I was standing in the yard, and somebody came out from the house with a pan of like cooking oil or oil, and kind of went to dump it in the yard. And then I heard kind of quite loudly, "Don't throw oil on the ground." And then I woke up. And so I woke up, and I remembered to jot it down really quick. And so that was like at 3:50 a.m. Now, that was the same. What day was that? I'm not sure. But anyways, there was a church stampede that left 20 dead after a pastor pours holy oil on the ground. And this is in Tanzania, in Africa. And apparently hundreds of people were attending a prayer session. He dumped the oil on the ground, and I truly not sure if it was an intentional thing or not. But kind of like in my dream, the person was intentionally throwing this cooking oil on the ground. But the people trampled to try to reach this anointed oil, and that's how 20 of them had passed away. Now let's see, back up to the military people in the chow line, that something crashed into. I wrote structure because I couldn't tell. It was more I was seeing the people, I was seeing chow, and I was seeing the crash. It looked more like a solid building. It didn't look like a military tent, so I had to write structure down. And I knew they were wearing fatigues. The two, or the ones that I saw, were in fatigues. Nope, not that one. This one. This was when the rockets, on January 26th, this was posted. Rockets hit U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, and it hit the cafeteria hall. Was hit during dinner time. And honestly, I can't. I would have to check to see if one person might have been killed, but I can't remember because I didn't read the whole article from that one. But it was more like the headline caught my attention. That hit the cafeteria hall during dinner time, which completely just blows my mind. Okay, and one more. And then this is the one when I sent the email out. And then so this one was a dream. And this was one of those pretty clear dreams. And what it was is I was like standing on a sidewalk on a familiar street in my town. So I knew Florida. And I was looking at this building that used to be a movie theater that had been changed into apartments. And then it almost looked like on the second floor we had these huge wooden beams that came out from the rooftop. And then that kind of morphed into a giant oak tree that was kind of attached to the building. And it started to sway back and forth, almost like heavy wind. And then I realized the whole building was swaying back and forth. And then kind of had like two hard jerks. And then I realized that it was an earthquake. But in the dream, in real life, my sister-in-law, her in-laws used to own movie theaters in town, really old movie theaters in town. And in the dream, I said to myself, well, that's her in-laws' old movie theater, which put the location basically in Florida or in town. The funny part is when I woke up, I had to remind myself the street that the dream was on, there is no movie theaters on that street, but I had to actually think about it because in the dream it was just so real. But when I woke up, I just knew that there was an earthquake that was going to be so large that people were going to feel it in Florida and they were going to be surprised. So they knew if it was in Florida, it had to be much larger somewhere else. So let's see, I woke up 7 a.m. I wrote that, or maybe a little bit before 7 a.m. I wrote that. I sent the email out at about 7:33 a.m. on the same morning on January 28th. That day in the afternoon was when there was the earthquake, the 7.7 earthquake that was 77 miles north of Jamaica, and that it was felt all the way up to Miami, and the buildings shook, and I think they evacuated some of them just in case. So that it was felt all the way into Miami. And I was really shocked by that because I was at work when it happened, and so I didn't hear about it until afterwards that it had happened. Or somebody at work had told me a little bit afterwards that it had happened. So I wanted to share that with you guys, just so you kind of see. Some of them are kind of clear, and you just know something's going to happen. Sometimes they're vague. Sometimes they happen really quick, within the day, same day. Some of them, it's a month or two out. And I just kind of wanted to share how he shows things. And I just tell you guys, God is good. All glory to Jesus. He is coming, and He is so wonderful, and He is so good. And just keep searching and seeking and talking to Him and loving Him. And He's just an amazing God. And we're waiting for Him. Those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. I love you guys. God bless you guys. And talk to you next time. Bye.